If I say retirement wealth, what do you feel? Peace? Apprehension? Uncertainty? If I asked if you think you'll meet your wealth goals, whether they be for retirement, a child or grandchild's education, or anything else, what level of confidence do you have? Is it more hope than certainty? If I say stock market, what comes to mind? Happiness that it's had a decent run lately? Or fear that it's overdue for a correction? And with all that's going on in the world, coupled with our weak economy and low-paying jobs, could it be a significant correction? Where would that put your wealth-building plans? What would that do to your retirement timeline? Well, what if I told you the wealthy have a secret weapon that transforms hope wealth building into certain wealth building? Would that surprise you? Or have you always kind of felt they knew something you didn't? Okay, no need for suspense. They do have a wealth-building secret, and it's so powerful that it's also used by big businesses and even banks to predictably build their wealth with certainty. Certainty is defined as perfect knowledge that has total security from error, the mental state of being without doubt. Are you certain about the outcome of your wealth-building efforts? Are you sure they're secure from error? Are you without doubt that the total in your investment accounts will be sufficient when you want to retire? More importantly, are you without doubt that the market won't crash right at the time you plan on using the money, like it did to the people who were going to retire in 2000 and 2008? Many of them are still working. Am I saying that this little talked about wealth-building system is immune to market crashes and recessions? Yes, I am. How well does it work? Well, let me use a true story to give you an idea. There are two characters in this story, Cornelius Vanderbilt and Mayer Amschel Rothschild. These were two of the richest men in the 19th century. We'll start with Vanderbilt. The family patriarch, Cornelius Commodore Vanderbilt, managed to transform $100 borrowed from his mother into a $100 million fortune by the time of his death. The inheritance he left to his family was more than all the money held in the U.S. Treasury at the time. Members of the Vanderbilt family built many of America's most extravagant private homes, such as the Biltmore in Asheville, North Carolina, and the Breakers in Newport, Rhode Island. They also owned 10 mansions on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan, dominating prime real estate in the world's wealthiest city. The first of the Vanderbilt's Fifth Avenue mansions in Manhattan was finished in 1883. Yet by 1947, less than a century later, all 10 of these opulent homes had been torn down after their contents had been auctioned off. Within just 30 years of the Commodore's death, no member of the Vanderbilt family was among the richest in the U.S., and 48 years after his death, one of his grandchildren is said to have died penniless. In less than a single generation, the surviving Vanderbilts had spent the majority of their family wealth, and the wealth was virtually gone within 4 generations. Now let's see how the Rothschilds fared. Mayer Amschel Rothschild also died in the 19th century, and like Vanderbilt was worth more than $100 million. But unlike Vanderbilt, Mayer Rothschild did not just leave his heirs money. He created a family wealth-building system like the one I've been telling you about. This system was designed to protect and grow the family's wealth with minimum risk but significant upside growth potential, and it would be controlled completely by the family members themselves. How well did it work compared to the Vanderbilt method of just handing the family's wealth to the next generation? Well, rather than dissipating, Mayer Rothschild's millions were divided into special accounts managed by his sons. Today, the family's net worth is private and global, so it's hard to pin down. But estimates range from $500 billion to more than $500 trillion. How about the big businesses and banks I mentioned? Well, these unique accounts I've been telling you about have been used to start or save businesses like JCPenney, McDonald's, and Disney. In fact, nearly 700 of the Fortune 1000 companies use these accounts to grow their money. Walmart, for example, has had as many as 300,000 of these accounts at one time. These companies know they can count on these special accounts to grow their wealth without fear of losses, to cover future obligations like executive pensions and healthcare costs. How about banks? Bank of America has almost $20 billion in these special accounts, and American banks as a whole have more than $140 billion in these same secret weapon accounts. One banker is quoted in the book The Pirates of Manhattan saying that these accounts were his bank's, quote, best-performing investment, and he directed his executives to put into these accounts, quote, the maximum amount that the laws and regulators would allow, unquote. In addition, a half-dozen presidents of the United States have used these accounts, and according to the Wall Street Journal, these accounts, quote, have become a tax haven for the rich. It gives the affluent tax advantages far beyond those available to middle-class people through a 401k or IRA. Now, these accounts have been in use in America for more than 150 years, and they do not involve stocks, bonds, CDs, real estate, precious metals, or any other common investment asset. Best of all, they're completely outside the control of the federal government and Wall Street banks. So to answer my original question, how well does this system work? Pretty well. Okay, if there really is such a wealth-building secret, it must be complicated, right? I mean, you can't expect to eliminate the risks of the market without some pretty fancy technology and skilled portfolio management. Or can you? Well, what if I told you that this powerful wealth-building secret of the richest families, mega businesses, and the biggest banks in America was as simple to use as a bank savings account, doesn't have to be reported to the IRS, and will allow you to retire tax-free? Would knowing that secret be worth, say, $7 to you? If it would, you're going to want to click the link below this video. And just so you know who's making this suggestion to you, my name is John Cummuta. I'm a best-selling personal finance author and seminar leader with many successful books, audios, videos, and software programs. Over the past 2.5 decades, I've conducted wealth-building seminars all around the world with some of the biggest names in personal finance education, and I've had the privilege of showing more than 3 million people how to stop feeding their wealth to the banks and start feeding it to their future. The link below will get you to my latest book, The Banker's Secret to Permanent Family Wealth, for just $7. You'll be able to download and read it immediately on any computer or device. It will explain exactly what the secret is, how it works, and how you can begin using it to move your wealth building from hope to certainty. It will show you how to get on the wealth curve, that curve that moves up with certainty and never, I repeat, never has a correction or downturn. It only and continually goes up. The book will even answer the question that's in the back of your mind right now. If this is so wonderful, why haven't I heard of it before? Well, if you're not interested enough by this point to throw $7 down on a book that comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, we probably don't have much to talk about. So I'll just thank you for staying with me this far into the video. On the other hand, if you are interested in finding out what the secret is, I'm ready to explain it to you in The Banker's Secret to Permanent Family Wealth. So click the link below and let's start the conversation.